Good morning, students. I am Nivedita Singh of Marwadi College English Department. Today, I am going to take your online classes for elective English, that is of 100 marks. As in previous videos, we have started fiction novel The Financial Expert by R.K. Narayanan. Today, we will continue the novel. Part 3, Section 4, Elective English fiction novel The Financial Expert by R.K. Narayanan. Main characters are Mriga, Dr. Paul, Mr. Madan Lal, and Balu. Mriga had kept a retired revenue clerk. He liked him to work. Mriga was always used to having him a semicircle of persons sitting before him, as in the old days, and never interrupted his studies or calculations to look at them or receive their greetings. One day, Kannada, an old man and acquaintance of Mriga, came to him. Kannada had come to ask Mriga's advice on how best to get money from some new land which had unexpectedly come to him through the death of a relative. These lands were in the regions of Mumpi. Mriga was carried away by visions of this paradise of green fields. Mriga promised to see the sight next day. When Mriga walked home, he found a commotion in the house. His wife's voice could be heard wailing, and a large crowd had gathered at his front door. He quickened his pace on seeing it. He saw his wife rolling on the floor and wailing in a high-pitched voice. There were a number of women sitting round her and holding her. Mriga saw his brother and his wife also in the crowd. His brother had handed him a card. The card intimated that Balu was no more. Mriga had lost his control. His wife went on accusing him, saying that he was responsible for the death of their son. The card had come from Madras but had no address. His relatives insisted Mriga to go to Madras and to find out more about the death of Balu. But Mriga asked where he was to go without address. Mriga sat in a third-class compartment in the train to Madras. He was very unhappy. He had a very uncomfortable journey because of overcrowded train. In the compartment he met a policeman who was from Madras. Mriga confided him and told him the story about his son. The policeman examined the card and read its postmark and remarked that the postcard was from Parktown. Mriga also told the police officer that he did not know where to go in Madras and what to do. The police officer took charge of Mriga as soon as they arrived in Madras Egmore station. He took him to the waiting room and asked him to make himself at home. He asked Mriga to rest at the platform restaurant or at the waiting room. He advised him not to move out of there till he comes back. He promised to help him. The police officer returned and told him that he had spent the whole day making queries about the postcard. The postcard was false. What the author of the postcard had written also false. His son was alive. The postcard was written by a madman in the park town. He goes on writing such things, but how he picked up Mriga's address remains a mystery. That is what should be investigated by the police inspector if he would stay for another day. The inspector took Mriga along to a house in Parktown. It was a very big house in a lane. He was known as the House of Enlightenment. The house belonged to a very wealthy man gone mad. Mriga felt that he was in an utterly strange world. He felt as if he was in a zoo. The inspector told the owner that Mrigya had come to him to know about his son, Balu, but whom a postcard had invented from there. The madman did not disclose anything about Balu except saying that those who come to him for charity or employment had to give their correct address, and that he wrote postcard to their houses to know whether the address given by them was real. The inspector took Maria to the central talkies that evening. The manager rose in his seat when the inspector entered his room. The inspector told the manager that they had seen his boss, the madman, sometimes ago. Then the inspector asked the manager of the talkies, which belongs to the madman, if he had a new boy in his employment then. The manager replied in the affirmative that and told him that he had employed Balu, a boy about 18 who seems to be an educated boy. He also said that Balu had gone with the sandwich boy and would come back before the evening show. They waited till the evening show. Then a kettle drum was heard announcing Krishna Leela. The boys were raised street chairs with matted hair and sun-scorched complexions, covering their middles with loincloth and practically bringing on their bare bodies the sandwich frames. They put down their frames and gathered in front of the manager's room, along with the drummers and pipers. Presently, Balu arrived, saying, "Payments only for there." Sir, the rest dozed off under the trees. An argument followed with the boys. Mrigya could hold himself in check no more. He turned and observed that the boy wore a dirty dhoti, his cheeks were sunken, he was dark with wending in the sun, and his hair was uncut. He rushed towards Balu with tears in his eyes. Today, up to this, we will continue in our next video.